Today on stream, we're talking about Hindenburg's stock market warning. You need to pay very close attention. We look at the fear and greed index. We are sitting at 53. We are unable to get into greedy territory, at least at this moment. Are things about to change? So what is in store for tomorrow? One of the biggest trading days of this week. All right, so we come over and look at the warning that we're talking about real quick. Super microcomputer stock slides after short seller Hindenburg alleges accounting red flags in new report. Now, this is a problem. That is something you do not want to hear about a company that you are currently invested in. But hold up, I'm going to share with you guys another warning here in just a bit as well. Now, we look at SMCI. Today, SMCI gap lower, and in pre-market, we saw it was down roughly $50 or so. We're talking about that on the live stream this morning, and it actually closed down roughly 15 points. Now, is this going to be nothing more than a double bottom, or are those reports from Hindenburg actually going to materialize into things that's going to be very devastating for the stock? Keep in mind, the stock right now is trading at $547. And when we put this out here on a monthly chart, we can see we are substantially off of the highs. If we measure from the high down to the lowest point, it's dropped 60%. And from the current level, it is down 55% from all-time highs. Now, the politicians and the media want us to believe everything is fine in the economy. However, let me know if you guys agree with this down in the comment section down below. American workers haven't been this worried about losing their jobs in a decade. Are you worried about losing your job? Like I said, let me know in the comment section down below. Now, why is this important? Well, think about this. If you're thinking about spending some money, but you're worried about losing your job, are you going to probably hold on to that cash that you have in the bank? Or are you going to just sit there and let it rain? All right, I think we both know the case for that. And that could also be something that causes the economy to cool down even more so. Then we look right here. Foot Locker's second largest shareholder has been selling stock ahead of earnings. Now, what do they know that we don't know? Now, when we come over and look at a chart of Foot Locker, I want to remind you guys of something in the past. All right, look at this earnings cycle where Foot Locker came crashing down substantially lower. I think that's when Kramer put out a tweet talking about Foot Locker's not going to go any lower, somewhere up in here. And then we get a horrible earnings report. But the last earnings we came up, but look, now they're right back up into the area where we've seen Foot Locker have a major decline in the past. Now that decline from right before the earnings came out down towards the low, Foot Locker dropped 40%. So think about any of the bag holders that have sat through that. Now, as Foot Locker comes back up, like, you know what? I don't know if I want to hold this stock anymore. Or do they have inside information that maybe, just maybe, the company's not doing as good as they would like to see? Then we look at this article right here. RV downturns turns apocalyptic with largest dealership offering 55% discounts. And what it's going on to essentially say is, you know, that market is essentially falling apart. Now, why is that important? Well, that's letting you know that, you know, people are starting to get squeezed a little bit more. Some of the luxury items that people have, they're starting to have to pull back a bit and say, you know what, maybe just maybe we should not spend that money. And that also basically coincides with that article about Americans fearing losing their jobs. Now, we come over and look at how the indices fared across the board. The Dow was up 9.98 points. The Nasdaq was up 29.05 points. The S&P 500 up 8.96 points. Russell 2000 was down 1.71 points. Now, when we look at advancing issues versus declining, we had 52% of issues declining on the day. And we come over and look at the sectors. It's no surprise technology was leading the way. We actually alluded to that during the live stream this morning. Financials also not far behind. Now, we come over and look at the volatility index today. It was down 4.46%. We kept watching this today during the live stream, and it just kept dwindling lower and lower and lower. Then we look at the dollar index. Dollar index was also on a path going lower throughout the day. And we see the dollar index made a new multiple week low here today. The MACD indicator on the daily chart still looks horrible at this moment. But then we look at crude oil, we get a little bit of a relief pullback. However, don't get too excited just yet. Today's candle was nothing more than an inside day, meaning today's high was lower than the prior day's high. Today's low was higher than the prior day's low. And what does that set up for tomorrow? We are likely going to get a breakout or breakdown from this pattern, but this is not going to be the most important thing that we want to watch for tomorrow. We come over real quick. We take a look at gold. Gold having a hammer candle shooting down, eyeing that 2,586 price target, that ABC projection to the upside. And with the Fed confirming they will be cutting interest rates, it's really no surprise that gold is going up at this time. However, let's get ready for tomorrow because tomorrow before the bell, Chewy comes out with earnings after the close. we have Nvidia, CrowdStrike, Salesforce, and Affirm, just to name a few. When we look at the expected movers out there, Chewy expected to move plus or minus 16%, Affirm plus or minus 16%, Five Below plus or minus 15%, Nvidia plus or minus 12% or so, CrowdStrike plus or minus 11%, and Salesforce plus or minus 8%. So we have a lot of potential market moving events. It wasn't too long ago when we seen CrowdStrike come crashing lower and put a little pressure on the stock market as well. We look at CRM has basically rallied up and basically been consolidating. It's right here near the upper range of the top of this consolidation level. Are we going to break tomorrow, or will we see it coming back lower? Then we have Nvidia, the king of AI, came back today up 1.46%. But look at this, right? Move up, consolidation. This could be nothing more than a bull flag, getting ready to run to all-time highs. Or could Nvidia actually come out and beat earnings tomorrow and we see the stock start tumbling lower? Just something to think about. Now we come over and look at Chewy stock as well. Chewy stock basically stuck in this little consolidation near the upper range, but not all the way at the tippy top. Something we most certainly need to keep an eye on. We come over and look at the Dow. This is the highest close ever that the Dow has had. We have a little bit of a hanging man candle with the candle from yesterday where we had a look above. We came back down. Will tomorrow be the day where we get a new closing all-time high above the high that we actually formed yesterday? On the daily chart, MACD indicator at this point is showing no signs of letting up. I want to remind you guys, today Apex's 80% sale will be ending, but rest assured, if you use promo code Mike at checkout, you'll always get the best deal. But we come over and we look at the Russell 2000. Today, we saw weakness in small caps. We saw the Russell 2000 coming down lower, gapping lower, and we still have huge MACD divergence as we've come up towards this area. Now, as we come over and look at the QQQs real quick, what do we see? Well, we've had that rejection off the 78.6. We've come down towards this minus development area. We still have not filled the gap below us. Is this all the pullback we're going to get? And now tomorrow, after NVIDIA's earnings, we're going to come rocketing up, trying to make another run towards all-time highs. It's something we most certainly need to seriously consider. As we look at the 4-hour chart, MACD indicator has crossed to the downside. Out here on the 1-hour chart, we can see we're basically just going sideways. We had a lot of back and forth, which we were talking about today during the live stream as well. Then on the 30-minute chart, you can see the MACD indicator is starting to grind up. But this is something I always warn you guys about. When the MACD indicator is rising on the way up, we get towards the zero line. Watch out. That could be nothing more than a recharge point for another move back to the downside. So something we want to keep an eye on for tomorrow. Look at the way in which the Nasdaq came crashing down this morning, only to come back up. Now we have a P as in Paul shaped profile. With that, if we start breaking value area low, we're likely going to explore the lower third of the range. Then as we come on, we look at the Nasdaq. We were talking about this morning during the live stream. We were looking for a retest of value area high or even the ABC pattern completion. We came down this morning and we rejected and started to go right off that area. So far, we have not been able to retest 19,424. I'm still watching that level. I still think it's a very high probability target in the future. We come over and look at the daily chart, and here's an ABC pattern that we drew out during the live stream. Now, if we can get above this swing point right over here, that would validate the pattern for a push all the way up to 19,828.72. However, if we start breaking below value area low, we want to be on the lookout because that would basically set the stage. We're likely going to explore the lower third of the range. And if we're that low, why not go ahead and take out those levels that we talked about on the weekly volume profiles? Now, when we look at value area high, that will come in at 19,687.50. The point of control will come in at 19,644.50. Value area low will come in at 19,582.00. So if you want to be short, wait and see. Can we break above value area high and then potentially come back down? Keep in mind, all attention is going to be on NVIDIA tomorrow. If NVIDIA has a negative reaction to their earnings, regardless if their earnings are good or bad, does not mean the stock's going to go up or down. All right. How does the market react to the earnings is going to be the most important piece of information for tomorrow. Now, when we look at the economic calendar for tomorrow, we have no major news. We have crude oil inventory numbers coming out. Bostic speaks at 6 p.m. So essentially no economic news for tomorrow. So be on the lookout for Chop Fest once again. We come over here, we look at the daily chart on the SPY. What do we see? Basically a consolidation up here. We have not started the pullback just yet. We do have the 38% level marked off. At some point, we are going to come back and fill these gaps. The question is, are we going to hit all-time highs before we come back and fill those gaps? Out here on the 1-hour chart, what do we see? MACD indicator making its way down towards the zero line, which we're not there yet. Then on the 30-minute chart, you can see that P as in Paul shaped profile. Now, with a P-shaped profile, like we talked about with the Nasdaq, if we break value area low, we're looking for the lower third of the range to come back and get auctioned. We come down that low, let's not forget we have gap support and the gap being filled all the way down here at 556.17. As we come over and look at the futures markets, notice we are getting stuck right near this high volume area. Can we go ahead and push up and out, or are we going to fall back down and try to target some of these other high volume areas? Again, right now we're in a wait and see game. Which way are we going to break? Now, we also talked about this ABC pattern during today's live stream as well, and that gives us a price projection at 5664.73. However, in order for that pattern to be validated, we must take out the swing high right over here. Once that swing point is taken out, then that would validate that pattern to the upside. Now, as I'm looking at this, what am I expecting? Well, if you're looking for lower prices, wait and see. Can we either get above value area high and come back down, or can we break value area low and then we start looking for sell side opportunities? We break value area high, we come back down, we want to target the point of control, value area low, and then down towards the lower third of the range. Anything below that level, I would then want to focus back near the lows from August 22nd. Now, if we look at the volume profile levels real quick, value area high will come in at 5648.25. The point of control will come in at 5642.75. Value area low coming at 5631.25. So just keep an eye on those volume profile levels for tomorrow. If you want to learn an easy 3-step approach to trading trend continuation, make sure to watch this video right here.